seeing, that everyone was kind of wondering, but what is this? What is this? Why should this traffic be like this? The bus you have, it is important that those who are regulating the traffic ensure that we cannot have deplorable or defective vehicles running the traffic, which is wrong. You cannot have it running the traffic. It was so scary this morning. The people were struggling
Mm.
to get from the bus because the smoke took over the entire streets, those in the bus, and everyone felt that the bus was on fire, that it was
Mm-hmm.
at blaze because,
Because it was straining.
yes, it was straining. When the engine of a vehicle is so old and the engine spoiled,
Mm-hmm.
it becomes difficult for that vehicle to have control.
Mm-hmm.
So it was so scary this morning with a lot of smoke, and the people were trying to struggle their way through by using the window and everything. Imagine what would have happened
Mm-hmm.
if that bus were going to, set catch on fire and, like we say, a blaze because of the kind of condition. Yeah, Fidel.
Okay, but aside, I mean, I can understand the way our people go about things, and Denise, maybe there should be more awareness,
Mhm.
because it is the traffic officers who supposed to regulate. I
Mhm.
mean, look at the conditions of vehicles that apply in the streets,
Yeah.
and if this observation is not made, I mean, the kind of defective vehicles that will plow the streets of Monrovia and its environs will definitely pose threat to, I mean, the lives of citizens. And I think that is something that the police has to look at, to see how our people behave.
Mhm.
I mean, because if you don't regulate it, let me tell you, the tendency for people to violate is always there, and that's why we have policies in place to guard the actions of people. But
Mhm.
again, this is what we have. This is our country, and this is how people tend to behave.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're watching the live video, you see some kind of Dennis. Do you like my goggles?
Oh, so nice. That's
Yeah.
nice.
Anyway, it was gifted to me by Martin Fagans. Martin just thought to give me this goggles, and
Oh,
for some reason he believed that it would have looked nice on me.
no, Martin. No, I'm
Martin is
going
a
to hold you
designer.
in
Oh,
contempt.
because you get your own too.
Yeah, Martin, that's bad.
uh, but it actually looks great on me, and I like it. Thank you so much, Martin. I think I like it. Um, but here's the point. Let's continue with our uh, let's continue with our. There's something I'm hearing. Something playing in my ear. I don't know what it's playing
Yeah.
in yours. Okay, but okay. So let's continue with our conversation, and we look good this morning. I don't know, for some reason the live video looks clean.
Yeah. I think producer
Maybe he did something.
Ishmael Smith is
Mm,
on his good side this morning. We need to ask him
okay.
where he been, where he slept, and he's
I look
busy.
like new money this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I look like new money. And for a while, we've not recognized those who've been watching on our live video, Denise, and I hope we can do that this morning.
Mhm.
There have been others who've expressed concern to me regarding our failure to, I mean, identify them. But let's give our traffic alert. If you're coming from the Broadville end, be aware of traffic around the Momotown area. If you crossing the Carwell Bridge coming to town or going to the Momotown end, you also have to be aware of the traffic as well. And as you move towards the Freeport end, be aware of the traffic around the Logan Town area. If you cross Logan Town, say on town, you also have to be aware of the traffic at Freeport. Sometimes it extends as far as Jamaica Road. All right, you have to be aware of that as well. And around the Va Town, Claratown end, there's a bit of traffic. The Dole Community, Claratown intersection, there's traffic because there are cars moving from the Dole Community incoming towards town, and there are others who are moving from town going towards the Freeport area, and others from Freeport towards town. So there's usually traffic jam in that area. All right, so it's something that I mean, people have to be aware of. of. And like you said, the 540 area, that's the usual spot. And that's the usual spot. And you also have to be aware of that. And like we said, the intersections of the junction, Battersville Junction, New Georgia Junctions, those are hot traffic spots. And so our people also have to be aware of that as they find their way to town or move about their different businesses.
Yeah.
Okay. So yes, that's our traffic alert for this morning, and so be aware of that when you are coming to town or moving around Monrovia and its environs this morning. Let's now go across the country, Dennise, and speak with our correspondent what's obtaining there. As you may well know, um, I'm told the police have launched an investigation in the alleged killing of an alligator in Vonjaman district. Where was that alligator coming from? Where was the alligator going? We need to establish that. And as well, we are told that an NTA bus was involved in an accident, and that bus was commuting potential voters to
Yeah.
Bapulu County, and they had an accident. But let's go quickly to Lofa County first. Let's speak with our man Samuel Boley. Let's find out what Samuel has for us this morning from Lofa County.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to
So,
get. Go ahead,
so we
Denise.
can invite our viewers as well. We are
Yeah.
live on Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
ABC Radio Official 105.1.
Mm-hmm.
You can also share the video, invite others to watch. Yeah.
Exactly. Invite others to watch and follow the live feed this morning. Our man Samuel Bole is there in Lofa County. And let's get to Samuel quickly this morning. Samuel, good morning and welcome to the Morning Breeze. How is Lofa this morning?
Yeah, good morning. Lofa is okay. Everything is moving gradually in Lofa County. Well, but this morning the weather is not too okay. This morning in Lofa County.
Is it rainy? Is it
Yeah,
cloudy?
yeah, the weather is just wild. Where farmers are saying, well, it is very
Good for them.
difficult. Yeah,
Okay, but tell us exactly what is this thing about an alligator in Lofa? Which part of Lofa specifically?
yeah. It is Bonjama, and you got it right. It was day before yesterday when police blocked in when they launched an investigation on the alleged allegation of killing of alligator, a social worker by the name of Akwe, which working with Fosida, and normally they have some very civil room across
Mm-hmm.
Vonjama district, where this guy went to one of the towns in Vonjama district to see how he could organize the training for those women.
Mm-hmm.
On the way going, he met those guys selling this meat,
Mm-hmm.
and according to him, he purchased a piece of it. When he went in the town now, where those women were complaining that they don't have meat, they don't have fish to cook for him, he didn't be necessarily well. But on my way coming, I purchased the meat. And when he delivered the meat to them, the women identified that the identical meat was the alligator. And that's how they raised a ban. They
Mm-hmm.
invited the town chief, and the town chief didn't be necessary to invite the social worker. When he went there, he said, well, he purchased the meat on his way,
Mm-hmm.
the nearby town. And those guys that were involved in the act, they immediately called for them. But the guy said to me, he saw on the social worker, it was not alligator,
Mm-hmm.
it was the water deer. And it didn't be necessary to call some of the hunters around the town to verify the meat, whether it's the alligator. But
So
when you
why
come to
why
say,
why are they arresting someone for killing an alligator?
yeah, the alligator, according to the clan chief, he said, well, it is very personal when it comes to the bar. Even, yeah, the poison aspect, normally they use it, even the dust, he just
Mm-hmm.
tells you and tells the pan one, seriously, somebody take even a cup of it,
Mm-hmm.
immediately the person will die. This is why if you kill it, they are not denied of killing it, but you cannot tell you until the very clan chief, including the traditional representative, the very leaders be present
Mm-hmm.
and you share it. When you take the bar, then all of you leave behind. Even the leader will not have any position, but all the local authority, including some of the media people, you will lead together, you go throw it in the water. And you will see the
Okay.
sound that will really cause. But just getting there and pushing there alone, we can know that the amount of the bite becomes serious concern.
Okay.
And
So what is the police saying now?
Well, the police invited the both parties and started the investigation, and also the paramount chief again came out and said, "Well, this is not about police case. Matter of fact, he have communicated to the police to leave it with the traditional aspect
Mm-hmm.
because there are some traditional issues that have to be applied. Even if you carry the guy to police station, the guy said he don't have it, you just have to carry him to jail. Even he leave there until his lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
But who knows, he give it to somebody to see how the person will be passionate with people. But if it is traditional aspect,
Okay.
they'll be able to use all the traditional method to see whether the guy sent it to different person or the guy was able to throw it away.
Okay. Thank you so much, Samuel. It was nice having you on the program this morning.
All right, thank you, and I'm always available.
Thank
Okay.
you. He's Samuel Bole in Lofa County. So the Denise,
Mhm.
the thing here is not because I thought that it was on the basis of an alligator being an endangered species. That's why they were contesting or looking for the person that actually killed it.
Mhm.
But it has traditional implication. That is, there's a part of the alligator that is used to poison people.
Sure.
So from the narration of Samuel, once you kill it, you have to make full disclosure to all of the town people. Then everyone will gather and, like we say in Liberia, butcher the
The
alligator,
alligator
and that part of the alligator that's poisonous that people use to
to cause
poison
harm.
people,
Yeah.
and all of them will take it and go throw it in the water because they won't be clear.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that no one.
no one uses it,
Yeah.
to harm other people. So because these guys who believed to have killed this alligator did not make full disclosure, and that's why they were arrested by the police. It's so
Yeah.
funny, but I mean, that is the way the traditional people live. You have to
Exactly.
live according with their tradition, and
Mhm.
that's why I
And it's
love.
important.
It's very important. That's why I love tradition. And, let's get to our main workout Kiri in Magibi
Maybe
County.
counting.
Yep, we are told that the newly transferred land administrator, um, Mason Bobby Yoga, has disclosed plans to organize a stakeholders meeting to mitigate the whole issue of land conflict in Magibi County, which I think it is a good thing. Let's get to our main workout, Kiri. Workout ever ready, Kiri. Good morning, workout. And welcome to the Morning Breeze.
Yeah, good morning to you and good morning to our valued listeners of this finest frequency.
Okay, Walker, tell us exactly why is he organizing this conference?
Well, according to the land administrator in Magibi County that were transferred by the Liberia Land Authority to replace the former land administrator in the person of Joe Dura, Mason Bobby Yoga said Magibi County is a county that is potential in terms of economic growth, contributing to development in Liberia, and notwithstanding, it is also a county that is prone to land conflict and violence besides Masurado. So as a result of this, there are two areas that are creating problem when it comes to land conflict.
Mm-hmm.
That of the Marshall and Shuffling townships in the lower end of Magibi County. So according to him, in a press conference held with the media, including ABC Radio in Kakata, Magibi County, said it is but fitting that communications have gone to the estate owners, land buyers, and sellers
Mm-hmm.
to call them into a national conference, to caution them about the Criminal Conveyance Act, which also give defaulters in land over the Land Right Act 7 years imprisonment if they default and break the Criminal Conveyance Act. So he said before those acts will take effect, he will call them into a conference and try to caution them as per respecting the Liberian Land Right Act.
Now, how prevalent are land conflicts in Magibi County?
As we speak, my brother, even the Liberian Land Authority officials listening to us, they will know that despite the 15 counties in Liberia, Magibi County stand at a prone in terms of land conflict and land violence. As history could recall, quite recently, some part of last year, in District Number 4, Wimakole clan
Mhm.
and Kolikili Star Township in Magibi County.
Mhm.
There was a land conflict between the customary traditional people and that of the JJ Men School, which one Jerome Vanjakoli in the Liberian Land Authority and some other officials made some proactive interventions in solving that situation, which poses a serious threat in Magibi County, District Number 4. And as we could speak, quite recently, in the offices of missing Bobby Yuga, newly transferred land administrator, there are also conflicting land cases coming from marshals and shuffling townships in Lower Magibi County. And mainly, according to what he told the press, he said the land buyers and sellers are the problem because they can do double land sales, and as a land administrator, he doesn't want to leave any stone unturned, and at the end of the day, the law will take its course.
Okay. All right. Thank you. We have to let you go. Walcott, it was nice having you on the program this morning.
It is my pleasure to always be ABC Radio County correspondent. And before I drop the line, the less busy people, commonly known as the grown-up boys in Kakata Magibi County, are planning to stage a peaceful against political actors in Magibi County. And according to them, they said it is as a result of politicians have been failing them and disappointing them and giving them promises which these promises have not been fulfilled.
Okay,
And
have they made
this time
specific
round,
reference to a particular politician?
well, according to them, like one Ojiba Koli, who happens to be the chairman, and one Henry Sumo, who happens to be the co-chair for operations of the less busy people commonly known as Brona Boys, Magibi County, said His Excellency President George Manewia promised them of constructing a safe home where they will be rehabilitated with acquiring a lot of skills training opportunities. Until now, that has not taken effect yet.
Okay.
And as a result of that, they said they will not support the presidency of President George Manewia, even our lawmakers in the 5 political subdivisions in Magibi County.
Okay. Thank you so much, Walcott. Again, it was nice having you on the program this morning.
It is my pleasure. It is my pleasure as a proud correspondent of ABC Radio on top of big news in Magibi County.
Okay. Thank you. The man who reports for the Kakatonians and the Magibians. And he said land conflict is prevalent in Magibi County, and so the need for organizing such a conference will alert people, especially with the criminal conveyance law being enforced. That means you sell land to one person, then you move from there again, you go sell land to another person. We have a law that prohibits that. Okay, there are lots of people who are not aware of that law, and so he said this conference will help inform those people. And
that's important.
Yeah, and help avert the number of land conflicts in Magibi County. Let's run strictly to Bassa County, Grand Bassa County. Our man Prince Yukonje Wampulu is in the port city of Buchanan. Good morning, Prince, and welcome to the Morning Breeze.
Good morning, Fidel, and good morning to your co-host Dennise and to our many listeners.
Good morning.
How is the port city this morning? How's the weather like?
Well, a kind weather this morning. A kind weather. We don't have too much of breeze, neither too much of sun. Just a cool weather this morning. Also in favor of the motorcyclists, working people that are students.
Okay. Now tell us what's going on exactly in Grand Bassa.
So we go to the group of 77. The group of 77 complain on discrimination in the voter registration process as well as getting qualified job as Liberians because they are as well equal to any other Liberian. So the group of 77 Grand Bassa County headed by Peter Jimin, and the group of 77 is about people with disability, physical disability, but they can see. Other than that, but we call them the other way around, the crippled people. But they are people with disability or special ability. Now, so they are calling on the government, especially local administration of Grand Bassa County, that should get them fully involved in the recruitment process at job site because people have been pushing other human rights organizations have been pushing the issue of a public facility having a space to incorporate people with disabilities. So
Mhm.
they have observed that they have been denied a job opportunity because of the inability to function in certain area,
Mhm.
and then as well. They have been denied recent, preference to some voter registration centers. According to Peter Jimin, he has got a report from several other districts in Grand Bassa County, like how people normally favor people with disability to take the front seat or the front role in the voter registration process. It is
Mhm.
not happening as well in some part of the county. So he's calling on the National Elections Commission and the local administration of the county to make sure that people with disability can be part of the process and giving a preference so that they'll be able to lead the line because the line process is very long
Long.
and it's a
Mhm.
delaying process. Yeah, so they want to have preference, and some other districts are not doing that, but allowing me to stand the line as a normal ordinary person.
Okay. So what's the issue of their employment they're complaining about?
So they said they are, during county sitting,
Mm.
civil society organization meetings, general mass meeting for citizens. They attended meetings and they are seen as important part. But when it comes to issue of employment from company, for example, Metal Liberia, Equatorial Palm Oil, Liberia Agricultural Company, Soil Ventures, other company in Grand Bassa County, they don't get employed because of their disability and that's they physically disabled, but they are mentally they are inclined they can contribute to society. But
Mhm.
they don't see that happening. Most often when they apply, they been denied opportunity. So they want equal opportunity since they're Liberian participate in other processes. They shall well be given job opportunities.
Okay. Thank you so much, Prince Yukon J Wamplu. It was nice having you on the program this morning. Thanks for always kicking in from Grand Bassa.
Thank you so much, Fidel, and we just hope to continue this process.
Okay. All right. He's our man, Prince Wamplu from Grand Bassa County. And Dennise, let's take this short break. When we come back, we go straightly into our first discussion point. You are at the U.S. Embassy, and we'll talk about that quickly. But we'll talk about the Lone Star first. But let's take this short break and be back.
I like it. 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 I like it.
Okay. Welcome back to the program this morning, the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1 with me, Fidel Saydee and Dennise Nimpson. Let's look at those watching us this morning. Levinos dos Santos Copa says, good morning, Fidel and Dennise. I'm following from my resident on Honorable Emmanuel Dan Avenue, Ashman Street, Dusty Road. Michael Eric Gotomo said, good morning, boss. I'm watching live from district number 14. From a district number 14 residents. Augustus Duco said, I'm watching live from Bourgeois Island. So share and share our video, share in as many groups as you can, and let others get to watch the video this morning on the program, the Morning Breeze. Dennise,
Yeah.
as you predicted on yesterday, the Lone Star was defeated.
Yes, indeed. I like I said it, Fidel. I told you, I said let's manage
Our
our
expectation.
expectations.
Mhm.
Yeah, because it's a kind of difficult thing. The Bafana they themselves were hoping for a win as well to be comfortably seated
Mhm.
as it relates to the grouping stage, and then Blue Star as well was also hoping. So the idea of people putting in their all and saying that yes indeed we will win,
Mhm.
being so certain,
Mhm.
that one can lead to heartbreaks and can lead to a lot of issues. So I told you, I said, let's manage our expectation because this is Lone Star. We did deal with thing and thing. And it is something, we talk about it, the issue of preparation. It is very much important
Mhm.
for our team. Our team cannot, you cannot wait for just a game before the team starts to, do all their preparation and all
Mhm.
of those. So as a result, you always have this kind of issue where the team won't perform and all of that. When the team is about to play, you hear people will give you 10,000, will
Mhm.
give this, will give that. All of those are support should be directed to the team for preparation
Exactly.
continuously. There
Mhm.
should be that. You shouldn't wait that a game should be coming up before you tell the team that we're going to do this, we're going to do that, which of course it is not the right way to go about. So our team needs support, and like I was saying, the need to dissolve that team, it is important. Dissolve the team and form a new team where you have a new breed of players.
Mhm.
You have young people who are coming up, who are eager, they have the potential, they are promising. You can work on them to have a great team of Lone Star. This Lone Star team, I don't know what was the problem. And the coach, yeah, we saw Ansu Keita, right?
Mhm.
When he was appointed, there was this, everybody was hyping him, and oh yes, indeed, the coach is this. But here we are. It's almost like the situation with Chelsea,
Mhm.
where we heal. So that's it. The need to actually work on the team. And I know you have a different side because you were there. You were all in your. I saw on my way. I I saw how disappointing it was for the fan.
Mhm.
I live around the complex, so
Mhm.
I saw them walking, and they were so disappointed. I felt the pain, but that's it. There's a lot of work to be done as it relates to Lone Star, and the need for the government to ensure that. And like people can say, one mark that people always ask when Lone Star, when President Weah leaves power, they will say, what has been the result of Lone Star? Because he was a player or star, and or like a soccer star, right?
Mhm.
A soccer legend, and becoming president. So President George Weah, your mark is needed today, Lone Star. Though we have there few months to election, but the need for Lone Star to have a mark, on your administration
It's
is
very important.
important.
Mhm.
And we just 7 months to election, but if something can be done, the need. I'm so scared. I don't know whether Lone Star, someone was saying Morocco. I don't know whether Lone Star can even defeat
Mhm.
Morocco now, with where South Africa is pretty seated. They have their points already.
Mhm.
Lone Star failed to obtain that 3 points. So here we are now going back to the same deal with trophy. But it is actually unfortunate for our Lone Star.
It's quite unfortunate. Like we said on yesterday, what we need in Liberia is not a quick fix.
Yeah.
All right. And that's why I was very critical of Akara's grade. Akara's grade has been representative for over 10 years now. He sits and discusses the budget, the national budget. We should have a program, a sporting program
Mm-hmm.
that is well funded by the national budget. Not these knee-jerk reactions and quick fixes that we do here in Liberia.
Mm-hmm.
That should not be our motivation. And that is why we continue to fail. These people, look at the South African League, for example. See the standard of the league. And we were fortunate. And I thought our guys did well. They were fortunate in South Africa to have gotten a draw.
Mm-hmm.
Now we came back to Liberia home soil. You see, when we're criticizing people yesterday about why they had to allow Cham we had to practice with the national team. They had an issue with it. When we criticized them for visiting the camp as they did, for Ansu Keita losing control of his team, of his camp, people felt we were overly critical of the team and the technical staff. But look, everywhere around the world, when a crucial match is coming, the reason why people go to camp is because you want them to concentrate. There should be no distraction. But even the Ansu Keita man was standing in pictures with people, doing selfies with people. It was clear enough to have told us, some of us who've been around sports for a while now, to know that those guys had already lost concentration. See what they did yesterday. I mean, see what they did yesterday. Even though we understand that the team, preparation-wise, they were not okay. But the same spirit that got in them to have put up a draw in South Africa could have even been more in them, where they guided and then mixed with outsiders that are coming to do selfies and take pictures with them. They wouldn't have been, contaminated as they did. And people say, oh, nothing wrong with time we are going on the camp. But that had an issue. Of course, I would say non-footballer, because he did not go anywhere in football, by the way. Went to practice with the national team. Not a Snotty Lanford that had experience in the South African League and could have put through a word or two to the boys and say, this is the system they play with. This is how the South Africans play, and what have you. But Ichangia went there, and the people said it was not a distraction. It was definitely a distraction. When you put all of these shortcomings together, that was the reason why we lost the match on yesterday. But again, it's already spilled milk. Water under the bridge. We have to move ahead.
Yeah.
And the surest way for us to have a vibrant national team is to have all of our youth programs very active, supported, and our league is up to standard.
Yeah.
That is the only way. Other than that, we'll wear our red, white, and blue again when Lone Star playing and go on SKD with the hope that there's a magic wand that will turn things around. It doesn't happen like that. Those countries you see performing today, there's huge investment in their sporting programs.
Exactly.
For us, we sit down and think, when y'all win, we get you 100,000. When y'all win, we get you 50,000.
Start bringing in money.
That's not how it works.
It's bad. It's bad. You don't care how those people have been training, how fit they are, what they've been eating, been doing with their daily activities, all of that. There's no motivation, no training, nothing. After 6 months or perhaps 1 year, then you say, oh, we have a senior team, come together and go play. No, that is wrong. You cannot. They need to allot, resources for the team is important. It's important.
Very important. So you can't eating beans breast. Then the men who eat, potato salad, eat the green thing,
all the energy drinks,
all the energy drinks,
all the treatment and thing. Yeah.
Then you say you won't go beat a man. What thing depending on? So our people, we have to start training them. And the way national team develops the world over is you must start training from the local level. And there is something called the psyche of those individuals that go on the national team has to be built. There must be that winning mentality. There must not be a spirit of complacency. And that's what we've seen over the years. But again, kudos to our boys. They represented us. There's not much you can do. You can do more than your best.
More than your best.
They did their best.
And they couldn't win.
That the capacity they had.
They couldn't win. And some other might say they didn't play their cards well.
That's the best.
I'm talking about the match official coming home. There were possible penalties and all of that. Labrador was denied that. What led to that? Sometimes there's some motivation as well. There are a lot of things that play when come. No, not bragging. There are a lot of things that play when it comes to soccer. Sometimes you see people going on the field to support their team. Sometimes the team will lose to another team because there are several factors that play. Because people, the thing about soccer is business. And it's also gambling. So people put in a lot of resources. People go on the table overnight and do a lot of things. But you just said, you come and you just sit down and think that someone was cracking joke. They said, they were making fun. They said, Liberia is indeed a Christian nation. You mean,
you get all the my officials sleeping in your hotel. They learn anything about.
But they need to
So,
start from the county meet. There are a lot of potential players when you watch a county meet and they first division league. There are a lot of potential players that they need to work on.
take those
You know,
boys,
yes,
take
this
them
is
to
not
camp,
miracle.
and
Yes,
I
they
mean,
need to
spend
work with
some
the young
money on
people.
them.
We have a lot of talents in Liberia and they being wasted. No one care about these young people who can play. They are not developing their Fidel. They're just there and you know they have the dream. They cannot actualize that dream because no one care about the youth. No one care about the training and all of that. It's not on the lip thing that people just talk and say, oh yeah, youth empowerment, our football, our soccer team, Lone Star. And what are you doing for Lone Star? It is not a quick fix issue, Fidel. Maybe we can go into a different discussion.
Oh god, that is there. But that's how we are now. Let's move to you were at the U.S. embassy on yesterday, and I know apologies of the government will easily say the man mentally in our domestic affairs again. But he said for us to have a free, fair, and transparent elections, we must the government of Liberia must fund the National Elections Commission. And he made specific reference to the Ministry of Finance. You give money to the NEC, let the people be able to do their work. Dennise, you saw his facial expression when making that statement. What does it really say in an expansive manner from your own reading?
Yes, so we all know that the US is a partner to Liberia, and when it comes to development, all sectors. So the issue of Liberia election will always concern the US being a partner to Liberia. And I think he was key about that. And one thing he mentioned is that the president at the UN General Assembly, pledged to have a free, fair, and transparent elections. But his own thing is that saying that is good, and it's something that they feel encouraged about, but it cannot actualize without it cannot be actualized without the resources, the support. So the National Elections Commission needs support from the government. That is to ensure that the funding that they need to carry on the process is available. And he stressed on that, and he was blunt about that. He said, I'm urging them to immediately, the Ministry of Finance. So that was a mandate. See, as a mandate, that how crucial it is, because just 7 months, like he said, just 7 months to the election, and the National Elections Commission has not gotten support. It is worrisome. You cannot have a lack of support and you want free and fair election, which of course it is not.
What's the relationship?
And like he talked about to ably implement the process, there's a need that the election commission be funded and have their support.
So what's the relationship between funding the National Elections Commission or the entire process in ensuring a transparent, fair process? What's the relationship between the two?
So we know, though I won't necessarily his interpretation, because they say the writer or the person who says their own thing is the interpreter. They can interpret well what they meant, but we all know that, like he talked about, it's an integrated institution. An integrated institution, you don't want the institution perhaps to be compromised. Perhaps if they don't have the funding that they need, someone might influence the process. Because if you need money to do a lot of things, someone might say, okay, I will give you this to do this. And then outside influence may come in. I think that's the issue of being free and fair, because there are a lot of people who will want to give some handout, perhaps, like that. And if you don't have the needs, you are not funded. Perhaps you'll go in for that because you need to carry on the operation of the process of the electoral body. So perhaps you may take things from people, and you may not even be able to reach to your targeted areas, meaning that won't be free and fair. That won't be fair because, yes, those who you need to get to, they need to also ensure that they exercise their franchise. They're not being given the opportunity. Therefore, that process is now a fair process, because someone might say, oh, I didn't vote, I didn't have the time to vote.
Mhm.
Yes, and a lot of things can come in. So the issue of funding to integrated institution and free and fair, it comes into play, because if you are not funded, there are a lot of issues to be considered. You may actually either be compromised, or you may not perform the way you should perform, and that will lead to a lot of skepticism, and a lot of blame shifting, and a lot of issues. So I think it coincides with the issue of being free and fair.
Okay, so yes, Denise is right. You see, in every election process, in fact, the essence of doing what we are doing, voter registration, is because we want to have on account individuals who are qualified to vote in our election process.
Yeah.
If the National Elections Commission is not appropriately or adequately funded, what will happen is that, in fact, the voter registration exercise that is currently ongoing and that will continue later in April will not go ahead.
Yeah.
Because the NEC will not reach places that they are supposed to go.
Yeah.
They will not reach in the deepest part of Liberia, where voters are, where people want to exercise their franchise.
Exactly.
And if you don't go there and those people do not register, it means they will not vote in the elections. So it means those people have been disenfranchised.
Yeah.
And when they are disenfranchised, it means the population of the country that should determine the leader of the country, that population is not whole, because a lot of people were excluded as a result of lack of funding. Because whether you like it or not, there is little or not the NEC can do when there are no fundings available.
Yeah.
And so a timely delivery, and it's important, a timely delivery of this money will ensure that NEC is able to procure materials that are even meant for the elections.
Yeah.
And that even materials that are procured, and in the process of using them, they are faulty, those materials can be replaced. And at the end of the day, you wouldn't have people being disenfranchised as a result of lack of money. That is the first fair play area there.
Yeah.
The second fair play area is that after the entire registration process, you want to ensure that you have workers who are committed to the job that they do. People who, contractors from NEC who are committed to the job that they do. NEC is able to transport people from here to Maryland County, for example, to conduct the affairs of the elections, even if there are local, NEC officials in that county. People have to go there to supervise the election.
Yeah.
So the NEC needs money to do that. Besides, those who are vehicles, transportation, means of transportation. NEC also needs money for that. So there's a lot that NEC needs money for.
Yeah.
And to conduct a free and fair elections, the Liberian government must support the NEC. The last time one of the commissioners appeared before the legislature, she was clear. She said the finance ministry made a commitment to deposit a certain amount of money in our account. And as I appeared here today, that money has not been deposited.
She has been talking about.
Yeah. So we don't know how far it is right now. The Ministry of Finance, and I'm very sure the ambassador spoke from an authoritative standpoint.
Yeah.
So if for any reason we give the government the benefit of the doubt, if that payment has been made to the NEC, it's important that you come out clear and say, Mr. Ambassador, we've already made a payment.
Yeah.
So we've already made the payment, and we don't owe anything to the NEC again. But I am very sure that the government owes money to the NEC. They've not made all of the deposit in the NEC's account for the conduct of the elections.
And just what you're talking about in terms of the implementation, like the center we have just outside our compound here for the biometric voters registration exercise. On yesterday, they didn't work. The whole time the place was just closed and people were just sitting. And I was like concerned, but what is happening? I learned that the machine that they were using had problem. So they couldn't carry on the exercise. So imagine if this is happening to this center right in Central Monrovia, what will happen to other centers? And even if they go into the interior, this is because they lack funding. The funding to go about to do these things for preparation. It is lacking. And it is lacking. That alone can start the process.
Exactly.
That alone can cause, hitches to the process that can bring about unfairness in the whole process. Because there are others who have the opportunity to register, and perhaps the timeline will pass, or they will be discouraged because if you come to a center to register and you realize that the machine is down, no machine, someone will be demotivated and say, but there's no need that I do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So the NEC has to be funded, and maybe because they've not passed the national budget, maybe that's why this delay is going about. But hey, when it comes to the issue of elections, Dennise, there's always a way to go around it. Monies must be made available for the elections to be conducted in a free and fair manner. So Ambassador McCarthy is right. When we do not have adequate support to the National Elections Commission, we will not have a free and fair process. And the government does not have to wait for last minute to time before they give money to NEC. You start giving money to the people now, let it do their work.
Yeah.
So that if anything happens, we will not blame the government to say, oh, because the government gave NEC money, that why this did not happen. But we start to blame NEC. All right. So Dennise, we're talking about the whole voter trucking business.
Yeah.
And our correspondent reported from Gbapolu County that there was an accident there as a result of people in NTA bus
Yeah.
going to go and register in Gbapolu.
Yeah, and the United Party, I think the chapter, the chairman,
Local chapter, yeah.
had an accident on his way.
So we've continued to speak against this. Look, do not allow yourselves to be bought. If you want to go to a county because you have some kind of interest there, go there based on your own volition.
Yes.
Go there based on your own volition.
Cannot allow people taking you.
Don't allow people to boss you, to truck you, to keke you, to go to a particular destination because they want you to vote them. And this is undermining the sanctity of our democracy. And I don't know why people do not get this, but it speaks about the illegitimacy of individuals who are contesting in these areas, how unpopular they are with the locals. So the best thing to do is to just put people in buses and take them there, and take them to to those locales that they are contesting in, because they do not enjoy the popular mandate of the residents of those areas.
Yeah.
And that is underpinning the democracy of our state. I mean, the people there, and those guys know they're not popular there. They're not been with the people. They've not had interactions with the people. So they use external influences to kind of swindle their way through to national power. And I think this is wrong and it's undermining our democracy. And we continue to see the time without number that this country will not move forward if we continue to use these pseudo ways of getting to power and different machinations of getting to power. Because once you do not enjoy the mandate of the people, regardless of how occupied you are in a position, trust me, the illegitimacy still hangs over your head. And consciously, you will know you are illegitimate, but you'll be pretending like you're some kind of legitimate person. Yeah, because you did not get there based on the mandate of the locals. And that's why we'll continue to see voters trucking, the bad thing. We need to desist.
Yeah.
We need to desist. Dennise, what do? Go to the phone lines, take some calls as we hit the 9 o'clock mark. And then when we come back, of course, we'll go strictly to our guest at 9 o'clock. Take our break at 9 and then go to our guest. 0555 105 100, 0777 105 100. The U.S. ambassador statement. I know others from the other end will interpret it as the ambassador.
And before we go to the lines, there was also this speculation on the social media on yesterday that the U.S. ambassador was leaving.
Yes,
was leaving the country. I know he has been replaced and he's leaving now. And there were others also who said because the president went to the U.S. and he met with the CIA, according to them, that what led the ambassador being replaced. And for what we have gathered and from the U.S. embassy, and what we have gathered is that it is not done like that. And though there have been a nomination of a new ambassador, but it doesn't mean that the ambassador now who is in charge currently is just leaving. Though he's outgoing, but it's not that he's leaving. There are a lot of process as it relates to the changing of ambassador. First, the guy was nominated. He has to be confirmed. He has to be appointed, and all of that. So there are a lot of process, and according to them, sometimes it takes time. It is not because they say, oh yeah, they nominated someone who is ambassador, who will be ambassador to Liberia, meaning that Ambassador McCarthy is just leaving tomorrow. He's packing his things to leave Liberia. No, it doesn't work like that. And according to them, it takes time. Sometimes it go months. And also, what I learned, according to them, sometimes this process take a year for ambassador to be replaced after the nomination. So at times it take a longer time. It is not a quick fix thing, and it's not like, oh, perhaps the president of the country can go to America and say, oh, I don't need an ambassador. Okay. You have to change the ambassador. And the system doesn't work like that. The only thing that sometimes that can happen is that, according to them, if the ambassador, you have ambassador that is being, or person that is being named, or suggested perhaps to be ambassador, maybe they will call the government, the country. Oh, this is the person, we have received nomination, the nomination or the nominated person to be. Perhaps the country will say, no, there's this, issue or something with the person or something like that. Perhaps diplomatic relations or something will play like that. But it cannot be like a country will go to the US and say, or to Washington and say, we don't want the person, it's too much, so changing and like that. So it is not done like that. So if people who are saying, oh, Ambassador McCarthy has been replaced and he's leaving, no, he stay here until the process of bringing the new ambassador. And even if the ambassador comes, he will not just take a work like that or take office. He has to come, sit, they have to carry letter of credence, and the country have to accept to receive that letter. And if perhaps sometimes the country is busy, the government is busy, and that may take maybe 1 week, 2 weeks, 1 month before they accept the letter from the new ambassador, before he can even start working as ambassador of the country. So it's not a quick fix thing, and it is sometimes saddening how people play politics about that, And I don't think some supporters of the government, it is not a thing to be rejoicing. Are you trying to say that the present ambassador, you are so worried about him that you'll be celebrating, when he's leaving? So this kind of issue, it shouldn't be a matter that people should give credence to, attention to, because the US, they have their own style of doing things. They have their own way. They have policy. That's why we lack in Liberia. We don't have policy, and policy is on the book. As long as it's being written, no one can change that policy. No one can just come and bypass. It has to go by the order of Fidel. So, it was something that we all saw going viral on the social media on yesterday.
Yeah. So there's one thing a lot of people forget about. Our governance structure is modeled after that of the United States. Most of the things that we do in our country here in terms of governance, we copy them from the US. Maybe because of the funders of the country came from the States, and the initial leaders, talking about J.J. Roberts and the likes, came from the United States. And so they model our constitution after that of the United States. So like we do in Liberia, when the president nominates an official of government, that person has to go for confirmation at the legislature. The Senate does that. In the States, the person goes to Congress. Unlike in Liberia, where we are not very robust in our nomination, our confirmation process. Over there, it's very robust. It takes a long time for that confirmation process to go on. You not just go there because they say, oh, the president sent a memo, let's just confirm the man. You do not just get confirmed like that. There are a lot of background checks that go on after you are nominated by the president. And even there are lots of people who are still waiting, who have to be confirmed by Congress before even you get there.
Even before being appointed. So sometimes we get it mixed up.
We get it mixed up in Liberia.
When you are nominated, they say you are being appointed. No, you have to be confirmed, appointed and all of that. So
then they get your letter. When they get a letter now, then you say
you are appointed. You have the green card.
So that's how it is. So they have to go through all these channels. And like the ambassador says, sometimes it takes 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months.
1 year.
So 1 year. So here is it. The foreign policy of the United States on a particular country remains constant. The foreign policy of any I don't know. For me, I don't know your foreign policy, like bro. Foreign policy, I've not established that yet because we're friendly with almost everybody in the world. But the foreign policy of a country is tailored, or the way the ambassador conducts himself or herself in a foreign country is based on the country's foreign policy. So whether you bring Elizabeth tomorrow, if this country has this policy on you, that policy remains the same. Maybe because of the individual, they will know how to go about it. Some will be very diplomatic. Some will not be very diplomatic. They will be raw. And maybe the way Ambassador McCarthy has been very frank in his approach about issues happening in our country,
Yeah.
that's the reason why people found it very uncomfortable with him. It did not happen under Lena Thomas Green. No, it was not Lena Thomas Green. But the last ambassador before McCarthy. Before
That's
the
a name slipping my
yeah, the last ambassador before McCarthy, she looked very indulging. She was very friendly with the president. So the people felt very comfortable with her. But the foreign policy of the United States still remained the same. So McCarthy is just a tough guy. I mean, who will spill out the beans. So for them, they meant too tough on us. So let's look for somebody who little soft. So what is the reliance that the new ambassador will be soft? He will not even be tougher than McCarthy. Now you're crying for McCarthy to go. So I mean, just do what's right.
Yeah.
That's all. Do what's right
Do
and forget about whether he stays or he goes, because it has no bearing on you. The foreign policy of the United States still remains the same, and it will remain like that. So Angela no, of course, no, come on, I won't call Jomo Sonny. But but I go to the phone line 0 555 105 100 0 777 105 100. Let's hear you this morning on the program. You happy for the ambassador to go to and support to our National Elections Commission? Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning to the lady and the gentleman in studio. Thank you very much for affording me the opportunity to speak. My concern has to do with the election commission. Yeah, you see, when they pass it, the Ministry of Finance passes the budget. I want to really know whether there's a allotment there for the election commission.
Exactly.
Yeah, because if Ministry of Finance fund the election commission, okay, to fund the election commission, and now there are lapses about machines and workers, not taking pay, etc., in the city. Then what about the leave vacancies? You understand me? And my second concern has to do with when the funding is not put forth. For example, a powerful party leader will come about and entice the election commission. Oh, I'm responsible for on behalf of so, and I gave this for this as well. That's why just the example of the net chairman, the Ether Brown Lasana and Lasana. What do you call it, man? Hassan. What is the chairman for Liberty Party? Musa Bilete, I think you saw the transaction that went on there. He went and sued a bond. It was a fear for us that, there will be gameplay there, you see. So I'm just concerned. That's my concern. So we have to take all this into account and appeal to the Ministry of Finance to stop dragging the feet and fund the election community because this is very crucial. All are doing. Yeah. Yes, that's my concern. Thank you very much for offering me the opportunity.
Okay, let's take another person. The ambassador. Good morning.
Good morning, Saydee. Good morning, my sister in Syria. Thank you very much for that recognition. I'm the ambassador for ABC. Fidel, let me go straight to the issues of the elections voter registration. Fidel, take your microphone, please. Take your microphone to the community. The polling stations. We got polling precincts and we got polling stations. People don't even know the differences. There's an error somewhere around Islam. The computer is going into the computer is spoiled. Yesterday there was no registration. Go inside those communities, there's an error where they had a DA error. The printer they had, the printer is damaged. There was no registration. So I think it's such on the issues of the elections commission that it needs money. so that they can prepare for this election. I think it's a very, very curious thing. Then they go in election, and they told they have 15 days before the register, then 2 days are being go free.
Okay.
So who they bring go to? So we go to the issues of
The ambassador.
Yeah.
No, the ambassador. We're not talking that national thing. I'm not talking point.
Okay, thank you very much. Let me just stop there. So that election commission tried that balance. You have the deal that go for yesterday, that the election commission because you cannot tell the not to register computer for this and that they put not to register. Then who the fuck?
Okay.
So that's all the question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. 0555 105 100 0777 105 100 0777 105 100 0555 105 100 are the numbers to call this morning. Let's hear you on the program. Fred Munju says, I'm watching from Monrovia. Christie Jato said we are facing the same problem in Grand Cape Mount. Okay. Well, the registration issue that we're talking about. So the first and the same. I hope the National Elections Commission can intervene almost immediately to have these issues resolved, because our people need to register. And like we said, the Ministry of Finance, you have to make money available to the National Elections Commission. I mean, we already have contractors crying about money not given to them. We also have what would I call it, volunteers and what have you crying for money. I mean, these are all things that we have to look at. The National Elections Commission has to do something. I mean, the Ministry of Finance has to do something. We have to support the National Elections Commission, because this time around, we want a free and transparent process. We want a process void of anything that looks like foul play. Good morning. Good morning.
How are you doing, sir?
We're doing good. Your name and where you come from?
Well, Mr. Washington, my name is from the role of finance there.
But
I just want to participate on your topic this morning. Now, really, you see why in this country are solving most of our brothers and sisters that don't understand. I just want to speak on the people who are dropping now to carry them out of the town to register. They don't know. That's why you see during our days, for me, I was born in the 80s. I was born in the 70s. I was born in 1973. So, what I used to see from my great people is that immature people now used to go and vote. But people now who are just...
What is immature?
What is immature?
People are not mature. They're not able to own sound education. These are the problems on the land.
Who are those? Who are those you refer to as such? At what
But
age? You
at
don't have
18,
children. You don't have age.
18
Your children
years.
registering.
People lie, my brother. People lie. We've seen them.
But on the old Baku, then at the trucking, you can see in their face that's so old Baku. They're not cheering you.
I just want to tell you that sometimes people say that they're complaining on the but why don't they want to work with them? Tell yourself to the man, this to the man. I mean, you expect that man money to go free when you do the picture of what you want to do, it will not be. It will never be, because if I make this, you didn't know me, I don't know you. I always come to you. You see? So, you see what happened yesterday? Like chocolate? You die there, you die free. Nobody will say, oh, you know, I got the foundation of where I get SYZ. No, you die free on the phone. I will put the phone out. You already going to say yourself. Well, thank you this morning. I just want to let you this more like.
Okay, thank you so much. So people died in accident yesterday because they trucking them from one place to another in Bapulo. People got injured on yesterday because they allowed themselves to be trucked. I mean, to be bust. I mean, that is the thing about this whole trucking business. You be bad lucky while they carry you. Accident happen, then you die because you want to vote somebody who even may not care for you. You put your life in jeopardy. The people carrying you to Cayman, they carry you to Bombing, they carry you to Bapolu. Go there out of your free will, out of your own desire. Go there out of your free will, out of your own desire. That is the only way we believe that. Oh yeah, they person, but this person, they tell you, oh, where you at, Dennise?
Yeah,
Can't get on the bus. Let go. I mean, it's unfortunate, very unfortunate, and something has to be done about this. Something has to be done about this. All right. We experiencing a bit of technical issue. Let's take this quick break quickly and be right back on the program this morning. Okay, welcome back to the program this morning. The morning breeze. We had a bit of technical issue right here this morning. But I think Dennise, it has been resolved.
Yeah.
Okay, you good?
That's it. That's part of the norm,
Yeah.
at times. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But I think we've temporarily resolved it. Temporarily, I would like to add.
That will be solved.
Yeah, and I hope we can have it solved permanently. So we're looking at the United States ambassador's statement on yesterday that the National Elections Commission must be fully funded in order to ensure a free, fair, and transparent elections. He believes without adequate funding to the National Elections Commission, there wouldn't be any transparent process in Liberia and in any democracy for that matter. And so he's calling on the Ministry of Finance through the government of Liberia, through the Ministry of Finance, to adequately fund the National Elections Commission so that the elections will be deemed as credible, and that people will not have a perception that the elections is not credible and that there's foul play.
Yeah.
Because the United States government is a partner to Liberia. I mean, people, I hear people say, "The man meddle in our domestic affairs."
Yeah.
But when a person is a partner to you and puts a lot of money in your governance programs, then that person is no longer a stranger. That person has a say in whatever happens in your country. And the only reason why people express fear why the United States should say things about what we do in our country is because of the way they conduct themselves.
Yeah.
And in Liberia, we're here for people to tell all the truth. Then we can get there.
Yeah.
We can get there by way why people have to tell us the truth. But that's reality. So our leaders have to be a bit more responsible in their conduct so that people do not make statements that may seem as they are interfering in our domestic affairs.
And we always say Liberia is America chat. So there's always this thing about America and Liberia. So the issue about them meddling in our affair, it has been a usual thing, and we all know, like they say, war superpower. Even during the president of State of the Nation address, he said, if you're not a friend to America, right, you are not our friend. So that's it. That should be and it's like that, and we should always see that as a means of doubling up, and doing what we should be doing as a country. And most often you hear them talk about the issue of corruption, and I think that that's something that every one of us can talk about. And I think with like a little bit thinking about Christine Eder, that you're trying to
Okay, so when you think you already solved the problem, then the devil coming small. But again, we'll solve it. I mean, it's just a bit disappointing that we'll have to go through this. Yeah, it's a bit disappointing, but that's what it is. Then this thing wants you to be disenfranchised. I don't know what is going on, but we just hope that. But keep your calls coming to 0777 105 100. Okay. All right. That is 0775 105 100 and 05 105 100 are the numbers to call to be a part of the program this morning. On the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1 on your radio. Let's continue to take your calls on 0555 105 100 0555 105 100 777 105 100. I always getting these numbers mixed up, but again, that's it. So we will continue to advise our people. We begging you, stop allowing yourself to be trapped Stop allowing yourself to be placed in vehicles and moved from one place to another. Stick. If you believe you have a stake in Margibi County, pay your own way, go in Margibi, register there. If you think you get a stake in my own county, sign up, pay your own way, go there and register. But to allow yourself to be put in trucks, in buses, and taken is dangerous. It's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Very, very dangerous. And our people have to understand this. That yeah, and it's a
It is
serious issue.
important, and that's why they even the U.S. ambassador stress the need. Stress on that the issue of voter chalking, is wrong, and they themselves will be having their own people going in the field, to observe the process, because it is not something that we should be talking about as a civilized society at this time. It just shows how desperate people are and how they are in terms of wanting to get power, and nothing people the lot of corruption that we always talk about is always integrity issue as well. Becomes corruption. Everyone wants to have their way through that kind of a means, so they don't want to they don't want to do the rightful thing, to do the rightful process. So they will always want to chalk people. They want to do things that perhaps others will be disenfranchised as a result of their own behavior.
Yep. And yesterday, the secretary of a civil society organization, Adama Dempster, made a statement in relations to violence in our country. Violence that occasioned our electioneering process, and
okay,
and that anyone who's involved into violence or instigating violence, or whose supporters are involved in violence, they are documenting those events, those incidents of violence that are going on in our country, and individuals involved. They've been documenting those people, and their report will be forwarded to our international partners.
The human rights
right? Good. And I believe that is good for us. Because we can't have people disturbing us every day, Dennise. We now suffer over 14 years of civil conflict. Then where we think we in a democracy that's flourishing, or is picking up small, then we'll have people causing disturbances for us. That cannot be permitted. And so we welcome this move by Adama Dempster and his group. And we will find some time to bring them here to speak more about that, so that as we move into elections, Dennise, we're not really nowhere in the election process here. We're not even do nothing here, and we're already seeing incidents of violence across Liberia. Imagine where campaign going on, and people moving, the other person carry people, the other person carry people. Imagine how it will look like in our country. It's a serious issue, and I hope those who are political actors in our country are very well aware of their activities, and that what their supporters do as well, those things are being documented. And those are issues that the different civil society groupings are taking note of, and they should not be surprised if some kind of day they hear their name on some kind of big platform that you sanction or they're voting for you. Remember now, there's a situation in Kenya regarding the elections. There were people who were meeting out violence after the elections, post-elections protests, and the international community had to take action against them. So our people must be aware of that and take cue from what happened in Kenya. Besides that, what we want here in our country is a peaceful process. Look, if you are injured by any means, go to the court. Anybody who foments violence in our country, of course, we will condemn you, and we know that the law will take its course. And we believe that the police and the courts will be very transparent in their actions. Dennise, let's go straightly for our break. When we come back, we'll take our guest on the program this morning.
Representative aspirant Thomas Ojukwu Fala.
Okay, what? He wants to be representative. District 12. Good. All right, we're quizzing this morning on a lot of
A
issues.
lot of issues.
Let's go for our break and be right back.
Rovia, oh, Rovia. Yes, Rovia Logistics is back. Have you been looking for a one-stop shop to rent and hire machineries of all types? Look no further. Rovia Logistics Incorporated is the answer. Rovia Logistics has wide range of machines like dump trucks to haul your sand, red dye, crush rocks, and border rocks.
As for your construction needs, do not worry. Rovia Logistics have all sizes of yellow machines to meet your desire. They have machines like bulldozers, compactors, excavators, forest machines, backhoes, and many more.
The interesting part is you get to hire them hourly, daily, or monthly. And that's not all. They also rent pickups of all types like Toyota Tacoma, Nissan Frontiers, Ford F-250, and they are equipped with all-wheel drive options for bad road conditions. Locate Rovia Logistics Incorporated right at the corner of McDonough and Carey Streets on the Kakata Highway, Copper Farm area in Fidel, around the University of Liberia campus, or locate our head office on Randall Street.
Contact Rovia Logistics on cell numbers 0777 874 231 or 0888 726 172. You can also email them on rovialib@gmail.com.
Better still, WhatsApp Rovia Logistics on 0777 874 231 or message them on Facebook, Rovia Logistics Incorporated. Rush now for quality services at affordable prices.
Gifty, where did you get the bricks you used to build your house? See how strong the bricks look.
I got them from Rovia Bricks. Do not tell me you have not heard about Rovia Bricks.
You mean they are located in Liberia?
Yes, Angie. Rovia Bricks is a division of Rovia Logistics Incorporated, and they offer a variety of concrete products for all your construction needs. They have 6, 7, 8, and 4 inches blocks. That's not all.
Tell me more.
Rovia Bricks have coverts for roads and well, cornerstones, Colombo blocks, yard tiles, sand, be it smooth, rough, and mixed. They even have red dye for land filling and crush rocks of all sizes.
How can I get to them?
You can locate Rovia Bricks right at the corner of McDonough and Carey Streets on the Kakata Highway, Copper Farm area in Fidel, around the University of Liberia campus, or locate our head office on Randall Street. Call Rovia Bricks on 0777 874 231 or 0888 726 172. Email them on rovialib@gmail.com. Better still, WhatsApp them on 0777 874 231 or Facebook Rovia Logistics Incorporated.
I'm calling them right now for that man's swampy land. No time to waste.
My ticket is there.
Bokonjida Group of Companies, a 100% Liberian-owned company with over 20 years of experience, is the name that stands tall in the microfinance, construction, and general services industries. At Bokonjida Group of Companies, we pride on character, integrity, honesty, confidentiality, and creditworthiness. Approved institutions or entities under the microfinance service include House of Representatives, Liberian Senate, General Services Agency, Financial Intelligence Unit, and General Auditing Commission. Others include Governance Commission, Cooperative Development Agency, Ministry of Gender, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, National Public Health Institute of Liberia, National Port Authority, Group of 77, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Our construction services include the construction of residential and commercial buildings, while the general services include apartment renter, apartment for lease, furnished apartments for short stay, general printing services, and a yard with swimming pool to host events. Bokon Junior Group of Companies is located on Capitol Hill in Monrovia. For more information, call us on cell numbers 0770-520-958 or 0777-017-603, or better still 0886-622-559, or email us at bokonjida group of companies@gmail.com. Bokonjida Group of Companies. Nunde. Wanna see all my people progress. Bokonjida Group of Companies, a 100% Liberian-owned company with over 20 years of experience, is the name that stands tall in the microfinance, construction, and general services industries. At Bokonjida Group of Companies, we pride on character, integrity, honesty, confidentiality, and creditworthiness. Approved institutions or entities under the microfinance service include House of Representatives, Liberian Senate, General Services Agency, Financial Intelligence Unit, and General Auditing Commission. Others include Governance Commission, Cooperative Development Agency, Ministry of Gender, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, National Public Health Institute of Liberia, National Port Authority, Group of 77, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Our construction services include the construction of residential and commercial buildings, while the general services include apartment renter, apartment for lease, furnished apartments for short stay, general printing services, and a yard with swimming pool to host events. Bokon Junior Group of Companies is located on Capitol Hill in Monrovia. For more information, call us on cell numbers 0770-520-958 or 0777-017-603, or better still 0886-622-559, or email us at bokonjida group of companies@gmail.com. Bokonjida Group of Companies. Nunde. Wanna see all my people progress.
I like it. I like it.
Okay, welcome back to the program this morning, the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1 with me, Fidel, Saydee, and Dennise Nimpson on this presentation this morning. And Dennise, we tomorrow we expand on this whole 50 billion thing. I mean, 50 billion given to Liberia for climate change and what have you. We'll look at that 50 billion thing. We'll x-ray it, find whether that information is true, as indicated by the government of Liberia, and whether that whole 50 billion thing are true, and we'll look for the genesis of that 50 billion. But we know that that 50 billion been spoken about was actually a commitment made by the UAE to the world, all right, in this climate change fight, and there are benchmarks that are set by these organizations that handle these funds, what countries should do in order to benefit from those kinds of money. So we will deep into that tomorrow as we come on the program tomorrow morning, and demystify, provide the facts, so that the information that is given to our people do not have any degree of falsification. I mean, because I always say this, the way you communicate your messages, because when a message goes out to the public and there is a degree of unbelievability, it brings the credibility of that messenger into questioning. And when there are events, I mean, rows of events that are deemed not credible, it places a dent on the character of the government. And it is important that officials of government, top level officials, are able to filter the information they provide to the public so that the government is not looked at as a lala government. In Liberia, how we can say like a lala government. And when that happens, if that distrust goes into the minds of Liberians, then at this crucial period we are going into, then you start to suffer. Because it means you've given them a mindset that most of the things you've said have not come through. And there are a litany of issues that we can list that officials of government have said, or people who are close to officials of government have said, and they did not come through.
Exactly. And it's important, to know that what you put out to the public is what they consume. So we don't want to see a situation what we had, the issue of the Ibomaf, the Elton Ibomaf loan issue, and all of that, the Loan Star and all of that. So you should be factual with information when it comes up, and it's our duty to inform the public, to enlighten them about situation as it occur. So one cannot sit and say, oh, this society is gullible, so someone just come up with information and say that you will spill that. And what you said is very much important. At this crucial time of the elections process, you cannot come up with information that people will be struggling to understand. There will be issues that people say, no, this is not true, it is wrong, it is that. So information that comes out from any arm of government should be factual, should be based on facts, and it should surround the truth and nothing but the truth to come out and say things. It is not time for speculation. It's not time to show those things and say things that are not well. If indeed perhaps is a projection for the COP28, and someone said some thing to perhaps beef up what agreement or some support, and it is not directed to Liberia, it should be made clear, as it relates to that. And I don't think that even as it relates to the issue of support from the UAE and what have you, we know that the UAE, and at this point in time, central around this climate change issue, it shouldn't be coming from perhaps, I don't know what is the final ministry of what. It should be coming from the rightful arm or agency of government that is charged with the responsibility to carry on their work. If, for example, this support affects maybe the Ministry of Education, it should be the Ministry of Education that will come up and say, this is what we intend to get from partners, this is what will benefit, and it shouldn't be another person who try to usurp function without knowing the nitty-gritty of that issue and just run with it in the public, and you have everyone confused and people talk about it, people will be asking and all of that. So it is important enough that we talk about that, but like you said, we'll have time to sit and digest that issue and talk about it and get to the nitty-gritty of the issue and be able to deliver to our people so that they cannot be speculating, they cannot be asking. So we are not here that people speculate and all of that. So it is important for people to know about that. So Fidel, that's it. And like you said, we'll talk about that more and more. Yeah.
And so what we are discussing on tomorrow, this whole 50 billion thing, there's a bit of communication lecture that I want to offer to the government. When I decided I wanted to do journalism, my idea was to do it expansively, to learn in depth, to learn, to read a lot about communication. And this is free tutorial to people who are in authority as it relates to communication in government. I know a lot of you are very knowledgeable, but there are a few things that you need to understand. Government should not be engaged into propaganda. And I will tell you why. Government should not be engaged into propaganda because propaganda is for individuals who have no duty bearership. It means in the event where that propaganda is overturned by the facts because the person spewing the message of propaganda cannot adequately convince a lot of people, the pressure will not rest on the institution that has duty to the country. Because when that happens, as I stated initially, it signals to the people that these people are not responsible enough to be our leaders. Two, when there is a piece of information to put out to the public, make sure that information is filtered enough so that it does not in any way leave doubts in the minds of people who will consume that piece of information. Why is it important? Because when you leave doubts in the minds of people, you give room for speculation. When speculation exists, you give room for that degree of unbelievability. When unbelievability exists, there is distrust. When distrust exists, there is a degree of illegitimacy. When illegitimacy comes about, you've rendered your position vulnerable. When your position becomes vulnerable, it means you are no longer in charge. When there is a time for decision making again, you are no longer an option. And that is how some governments feel. Just because of information, they feel. So I am saying to this to me, when the government is in negotiation with bilateral or multilateral partners or some of our international partners, it is important that those deals are consummated before public announcements or pronouncements are made. There could be a possibility that while that arrangement is ongoing, something might happen along the way and the deal will not go through. Now, it's not that you were not in negotiation with those people, but that the deal broke down. But because we were too fast, or we say in Liberia, you were too abu to put the information out. Even if you come back to explain to the people that this deal broke down in the middle of this, so it could not happen, they wouldn't believe it because your words were that of assurance. And so they believe you. So a lot has to be done in the communication arm of government. Look, there are people who are experts in communication in government, and I know them. But because the politicians have not allowed those people to do their jobs, so it appears like the government lack professionals to adequately communicate their message to the people. Like Dennise stated, if Liberia was able to get funding for the agriculture sector, there are two persons who are best suited. Let's say three persons who are best suited to communicate that to the public. The President of the Republic, the Minister of Information, and the Minister of Agriculture. The President, because he is the Chief Executive of the Republic. The Agriculture Minister, because she is the head of the line ministry that is benefiting from that project or that money. And the Minister of Information, because he is or she is the chief communicator of government. So if we are able to realize that and filter the information dissemination process of our country, we wouldn't have most of the controversies that we have as a result of miscommunication. And our people have to understand this. Some of the pressure that is placed on government is not that the government is not doing well. It's because the messages that are being communicated out there to the public have not been filtered properly. And so there is a degree of disbelief. All contracts or agreements are not consummated and people just bring out information. It's also part of the lack of filtering process. And our people have to understand that. People in government must understand that. Governments are not quick talkers. You are not impressionists. You are governors. You are leaders. Your role is intended to help in how to solve some of the problems that your people are confronted with. So being hasty in communicating does not necessarily equate to being very clear, concise, or convincing in communication. It's important. Bulk of the problems that the government has now is because of lack of adequate and proper communication. If that can be handled by the government, you have not much of talking about to do, because nobody will have anything to say against you that will raise up controversy. Nobody will have so much on you to say that will bring that degree of disbelief. So we are having some of these issues because of the way government communicates our message to the people. Do not have overzealous people who are just spilling information out to the public because they want the government to appear good. That's not how it is done. And Dennise, I've spoken extensively about this, and I know how you are a communicator, and you know how important it is for information to be filtered before going out to the public. Because like we've seen in our country, and we've seen a lot of that here, if that continues to happen, and if this government gets re-elected, and even though in the second year, second term of every government, there's that degree of weakness, because they say we're not going for re-election again. But when you are elected, you are not re-elected because you're going for re-election. You are elected to serve.
Exactly.
So people must take you from this.
It's important. It's important, and like what you said, it is good to work and ensure that you have results before coming to the public. And the issue about people just want to announce things, just want to talk because you want to gain attention, you want to be seen as working. It is not like that. If you work, you do your work over time, and at the back, and people will see the result. Definitely, it's not about you coming to say something and you have not built a house. You say, oh, I'm building a mansion. The mansion will be like this, will be like that. At the end of the day, you don't carry on your plan. You become the laughing stock, and people look at you the other way around. So it's important enough that our officials, those who are in charge, do the work, ensure that the issue is being solved, and you carry on your work before you can come and start blowing your own trumpet. So you cannot, and sometimes at a point at a or negotiating a stage, and you come to talk these things, there are others who may know the way around and go there and say no and try to spoil the entire thing. So it's important that you work, forget about it. Too much talking, do the work, and after the work, the result will show, and people will announce it. You don't even have to announce that, it will be shown. So I think that there should be the way around, and it is important. And we cannot have this all of the time. People just talk what they want to talk at any time because they feel that people can just hear what the people hear, that what they will carry. It is not a good way. We have a lot of people who are learned in the society. We have a lot of people who know what they want, and they know what it is. And for people to just come up, and say things that are at times, sometimes some of the things people will speculate about, some like the propaganda, but the real issue should be the real issue. When you come up as policy makers and officials to talk, it should be facts based, that people will say, yes, they may have said this and it has materialized. It's not that he said it and then people try to, say, no, it is wrong, it is wrong, it is bad. We cannot continue like that.
Some of us who are neutrals, the role that we play in the society, when we see these things happening, we feel bad that the government is scolded in this manner. I mean, the system is criticized in this manner, not because those people are not doing, necessary. I know there are some instances they messed up. That's clear.
Yeah.
I mean, the government can blunder plenty of time. But there are some things they are doing that need to be out to the public. How they get it out to the public is a problem. The different mediums they use is a problem. And because they do not communicate. And as a result, people run around with them on social media. Social media now, it made everything open.
Yeah.
So by the time you made one blunder, somebody really ready to expose your blunder.
Sure.
I mean, so when you see these things happening and you see these stiff criticisms against the government because of an error from somebody who should have known better, then we the neutrals now kind of feel disappointed. We can feel bad. By the way, we can feel bad that your government is being dragged on social media, and a lot of people from across the world watching and seeing some of the things that have been said about the government, and these things are true. Yeah, some are true, some are lies, though. But I mean, we should not have this like that. I mean, uh, for some reason, I don't know, but then sometimes I feel bad that we do not have a control system where people's actions are checkmated and they are able to account for their actions. We don't have that system, and maybe the system is existent, but the individuals to enforce or implement those systems, those individuals are not available, and as a result of that, we have what we have usually, and people tend to violate and go scot-free, and the system do not hunt them, and that's unfortunate. That's so unfortunate, and I hope a lot can be done now so that people get to recognize that they have roles to play in the society, and that whatever they do, their actions and inactions have an adverse effect on the way the society looks at them, and that being members of government gives them more responsibility to behave in a more mature and responsible manner. Yeah. So we'll continue to talk about these things, and we know it is not a day's thing, but like we've said, the government has to step up our game. Those who are in the communication arm of government, there's more that is required of you, especially as we move to elections.
And you talk about that. We know our guest is in. We have to do an adjustment, but with that, as it relates to the communication arm of government, they need to be effective. The need to be effective is a must, and there are a lot of issues that the government are doing and a lot of things that need to be talked about, but they are more relaxed, and not concerned about those things. It's not about countering everything that come up with the government, but you should be able to ensure that those things that government is doing is communicated in a rightful way. So perhaps we can take a break.
Yes, let's take a break, do a few adjustments, and then usher in our guest this morning. We're running late, of course. 30 minutes to go.
Yeah,
but
and there's heavy rain.
I'm told it's raining out there.
Yes.
You see that the comfort of the studio, you never get to realize that it's raining out there.
Very heavy, and our guests have to.
Yeah, till you are told. All right, let's take this break and be right back on the program.
Okay, we'd like to welcome you to our second segment of the program, although we have gone in a little bit of time of the segment. But we have with us in a studio our guest. He's a representative aspirant of District 12, and Thomas Ojukwu Fala. The name Thomas Fala is a hustle name, but his name is Thomas Ojukwu Fala, and he's here. Welcome to ABC Radio.
Thank you very much, Danny. It's great to have me. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay, tell us a bit about yourself.
Oh, thank you. First, I just want to say thank you, and also to apologize to our many viewers because of the rain and traffic, but we make our best to be here. So we'll get started. Thomas Ojukwu Fala is a humanitarian, a Liberian from Lofa County. live in district number 12, Chikisu Factory, the founder and CEO of the Thomas Ojukufala Humanitarian Foundation, a foundation that has been established since 7 years ago. We have been in the process of helping our people, especially our residents of district number 12, and also the current Secretary General for the Hughes Librarian in Columbus, Ohio, Librarian Incorporated in Columbus, Ohio, in the great state of Ohio. So it's a pleasure to be back, and like Dennise said, aspirants with the Thomas Ojukufala team, looking forward to bring on some prospects to our district. So it's good to be here.
One may ask, this is it because we have just few months to the election. You are coming up. What has been some of the initiative you have been taking?
Thank you. We've been doing a lot of things in our district. Matter of fact, we have our sub office over there in District 6. That just tell you we've been existing already. We've been helping when it comes to youth empowerment, seeing the kind of situation in our country, especially our youth, the disadvantaged ones, and other folks over there. We've been helping them affording some scholarships. Not only we've been doing that, because for me, I believe in tangible. We've been helping market women and young girls to kind of educate them to know the importance of their startups, to go back to school. And also we've been giving some awareness in how we can unify our communities. So our foundation has been doing great, and I can tell you a couple of people have been benefiting from it, and we'll remain in the process of doing that because we just want to see our environment being better.
Okay. So what have you seen so far since your return to Liberia? And I mean, you've been in the States, you watch out of what's been obtaining in your district where you want to represent. What have you seen so far? What are lacking? Why do you want to replace the current representative?
Thank you, and that's a great question. I think some of the things that are lacking in my district number 12, when I was here, I think it's bad leadership, and when we talked about bad leadership, we talked about the engagement, active participation, and most of our youth have been neglected in the banner. So I feel like some of the things, these are a couple of challenges. Right now, you walk in my district, you see the security aspect is not working because folks are not employed, folks are not doing nothing. So that's why they're engaged in a lot of other dangerous stuff. So I think one of the challenges my district is experiencing is you had a lawmaker who is not engaging, actually representing the people to work for the people. And these are things we feel like the district has done, so we come back to see how we can work with the resident and bring some changes.
Okay. Not working in the interest of the people sounds a bit vague. What are those things he should be doing that he's not doing?
And I would tell you, people always speak about the three cardinal responsibility of a lawmaker, which of course we agree. But I think in my mind, there are a lot of things beyond it. We represent your people. You have to make that necessary commitment. Because I would just give you one example. He left over there. He went back to run in another county, which of course, I mean that's a bannerman. And some of the things it's not. I've been watching. There's no general town hall meeting. The elder, the DCC, which is the district or council, is not involved in the process. So like all decision making is just for him. And I believe the voice of the people are the voice of God. So the people voice must be varied. So I feel he's lacking on that leadership ability, and that's why district number 12 is lacking right now.
Now, I mean, how involved have you been with these people? Of course, there are others who are contesting in the district. How involved have you been with the day-to-day handling of matters pertaining to the district? Your involvement that makes you best suited to represent people of District 12.
I think some of the things we've been doing. When you look around within the whole district number 12. The only team right now that has invited the entire 17 community. I mean, I'm speaking of their leadership and people from different backgrounds, the Muslim community, the Christian community, our youth, our women. We're the first people. We call everybody on the table, and we all sat, we discuss some of our challenges. And guess what? It was so obvious to you to know that a chairman within Stephen Tower is not concerned with what is happening in Chikisu Factory. I mean, for me, in my mind, I think that's not good because we are one district. Anything that affect another community affect another community, so that that establishment bringing everybody to the table for us to just talk and see what's the way forward. I think some of the things are lacking, and my people have understood it. every day, and I will tell you, I'm on the phone, having Zoom meeting, I'm on the phone, teleconferences, and we've been talking. As I speak right now, after the interview, I have a huge mark gathering with the editor, Council of Chickens Factory. So it tells you the measure is resonating, and my people is understanding, and indeed, it's about the time that we work together.
How do you see representation from the perspective of a district like district number 12?
I see it very broad, and I see it very big. We understand. We go over there. We make we kind of work with other lawmakers to see how we can make some sound decision and sound law. But in my own mind, I think when I'm coming over, I'm coming to do the work because I've seen it be more of concern on creating the way path the pathway, navigating with other investors and other folks, that connection, bringing a lot of things and opportunity to your district, not only to just sit over there. Because when you look at the whole world right now, the whole world is based on connection. So if you are representing your district, there's more up to it. You got to make that connection with other partners in the diaspora and everywhere that can come back. Because guess what? In District number 12, you got other folks out of the country who have the opportunity to want to come back. But when you are engaged with them, when you are calling the folks and telling them, it's about the time you come back to your place of burial, your community, and even with the schools of the business, I will tell you, invest in it. If the resident can benefit from it, that's huge. And that's the position I stand in right now. And I will tell you, my interaction with folks out of the district is very good because I get a special group that we call District number 12 on diaspora that wants to help. And I've been engaging in that process, been talking to them door to door. Like, guys,
because you want to be representative.
And because I want District number 12 to benefit from that, because they are son and daughters of that community. So I've been in that process so they can come back and help their people, because that's what we want to see. Our goal is our district should be transformed.
Okay, let's leave the District 12 itself and go to Capitol Hill. What do you think is wrong with what is happening up there?
I think some of the things that is wrong with what is happening, that people make decision on kind of that connection. I would say in my own saying, I believe because how good, how friend we are, people don't stick to the actual issues. People do some decision on their own interest. And as a lawmaker, right, I think there are some of the
things. Are there instances you can point to?
Yeah, sometimes like when you make some, when it comes to look at our youth, it's very huge. What are some of the things we can put into place? I think there's a be special laws or special program for them that folks should be speaking, advocating for them. Because guess what? 10, 15 years from now, these are people that will make decisions for us. And in my mind, it's not happening. I mean, don't get me wrong. Few lawmakers over there in upper house and lower house, they are advocating for that right, but I think there are more to be done. So what I come from, being there, I think I will make an impact.
Are you willing to stand out to some of the decisions that will be put forth as it relates to, like you said, there should be programs and things for the youth?
Yes, I am. And I will tell you, I'm already in connection with a couple of lawmakers in the house. They are my friend, and most of them visited me over there where I've been talking. So I'm waiting. Anything that would benefit the majority youth of my district and Liberia as a whole, I will be more than waiting to be the first person that will advocate and stand on that, because we want to see our youth being better.
What are some of the policies that you plan on, putting forth as it relates to youth empowerment?
Yes, very clear center. And other people may kind of look at it in a different way, but I feel like creating a youth center, because the thing is, Dennise, when you keep the youth basic, you keep them engaged, you keep them in different networking. Like you'll see somebody after school, after programs, and bringing folks over that will have some tutorial classes just to give them some basic education. Guess what? That time that person takes to be out there and spend 2-3 hours doing nothing, when they are engaged, it will help them. And not only will we do that, because when you engage in people, you have to empower them. So that's when we have to empower them. Empower them, like we help folks with scholarship. Our market women, our parents, some of them are not in a position to send them to schools. So engaging with vocational schools, and that's why president of my foundation, we have allocated, I think, 2 spaces in District number 12 to start our vocational school as soon as possible. That's part of the process. We want to make sure the foundation have a vocational schools where people can come in and be trained and empower them to better themselves.
You seem to have a plan for the district, but to actualize that, there should be that connection with you and your people. Do you think you have that support and connection from the people?
Yeah, I do think because the first thing I just said, imagine the people give us already two various spaces, one in the Connellsville Chicken Factory, another one around the Debris Mall open. So that just tell you we are connected, and yes, we are. And people are seeing the tangible what we have been doing, and they're all waiting for us to ride this ship together and bring some changes to our community.
Are you going to be one of those lawmakers who put forth the plight or the interest of the president and not that of the country?
No, and I'll tell you, I love the president very well, but I stand on my main principle. I want to see not me, Honorable Thomas Ojukwu and my family be benefited. I want to see the majority of the people, the resident people who we represent. I want to see them, and that is my more concern. And that's why if you can follow some of my history, some of my engagement within my community, from the outbreak of the Ebola, the COVID-19, I was always on ground over here. It was a challenging time. I flew over from the US just to be here. I was told to do, educating people. That just tell you. So when we be there, no matter what the president agenda, if and only if the people is a good one, the people will benefit from it, 100% will be there. But if not, on the other way, now we stand for the right and we stand for our people.
Which party do you belong to?
I belong to the ruling party.
Oh, the CDC.
Correct.
And will you be contesting on the ticket of the CDC in District 12?
We cannot talk about that right now because we're all in the process. We got on
go to primary.
Go to primary. Our times go back. But I would.
And what are your chances?
My chances are 100% because like I tell you, we know not only we know a few folks within the hierarchy, but we are speaking of ourselves. What we have been doing. So I think if anybody from the ruling party on that ticket can put out with a shot right now in division number 12, there's no other person, and the best alternative would be the powerful, the people redeemer, Thomas Ojukwu.
This thing that's normally held by your critics, that when these contestants or aspirants come from the US, often there's a disconnect between they and the people. What they use is the cash that they have is what they use as influence to have them elected. Do you believe this is a false statement?
For me, I don't believe it because I know your work speaks for you, and that's why I'm calling on all those that believe it to just watch, watch the game and see how it's gonna go. Because I will tell you, your work speaks for you, and that's what we've been doing. Aaron, if there's any foul play in the system, we're all going to see the reality, and the people, the voice of the people will speak, and will tell you enough is enough. Because I can see our people right now taking another stand because enough is enough. Our country, our district, we're being in that dark inside, and people are seeing the actual reality, and that's why I stand on. Most of my folks, they understand that's in principle, and when you go around, some of them they back up right now. But for me, I stand on a chance of getting it because I know my work will speaks for me.
Okay. So what will happen if you do not get do not being the winner of the primary?
So our goal right now is not only to represent our people. Our goal is to always do the best for our people. So, and I will tell you, if it happens in another way, which of course I do not see it happening, we will go to the people, and the people will make that decision. And whatever the people says, and that's what we want to do, because we're in this as a team. We're not in this as me. Although I have the opportunity right now to be their leader, but if the people speaks, and whatever decision the majority takes, that's what we'll go by.
So with few months to the elections, and I can see you proudly saying that you are part of the ruling establishment. There have been, public outcry speculations that the government is not doing much, so there's a need to retire the government.
Yeah, you're right. Everywhere I come from the state, up to now, people with the Republican still saying some stuff with the Democrat. But to be honest, then that's good. I'm not going to sit in your studio and tell you everything over here is bread and butter. And for me, I'm a male principal, and I want to speak the truth because our people, there are a lot of challenges and opportunity our people is not getting them. But however, and I will tell you, if you look at past administration and government, you understand, and there's a lot doing right now. So we have to give this administration another chance. I can name a few. You will see right now in a society wherein the freedom of press, people can speak their mind. These are things people take for very granted, but very important. You see where you go in the community, you see some other rural development is happening. Is it something we just want to see to that stand right now? No, we want to see more. So I will tell you, there are a lot happening, and also there are some of the things that folks that all want to come and make sure we speak on this thing and right this wrong, and for our country to forge ahead.
There's this belief that lawmakers make too much. What is your opinion on this? Do our lawmakers make so much more than they deserve? And if you were elected, will you want to act differently from, or maybe make a commitment to the people that you will take portion of your salary or something of that sort, so that even though you would not want the salary reduced, but you would take portion of your salary to give the district, like some people have been doing around here?
Of course, and I will tell you, even right now, I'm not even a lawmaker right now. My personal business and what I work right now, anytime I get my pay, I get something called close to 10-15% of air. I always take it off. And I got people on the record can tell you that. My secretary and also some community leader can tell you. We get that money, we put it aside, put it within the foundation and be helping. So to answer your question, of course, right now I do not know the actual salary of a lawmaker, which of course is not my concern. But if it reach that way, like I said, anything that will benefit our people, I'm for that. So right now I'm happy, like I'm blessed with the opportunity God has given me, with my work and my investment. And I will tell you, I'm coming into this to work for the people. I'm not coming into this to get anything. People would just hear and say, other aspirants and lawmakers have said it before, and the right to say it. But I will tell you, all the things of that and that bad apple, there can be one, and I can see that one within me. So when we reach that stage, if we would do the extra mile, not only we'll do it, but we'll make sure we keep an eye on it, and that money, whatever place I've been allocated for, as long as it will be served the internal purpose of my people, and I will be all for it to salary reduction. Of course I will.
And you will be for it.
Yes.
Now let's look at other issues at the legislature. I know every time lawmakers tend to find an excuse that decision at the House of Representatives are made based on consensus. There's this thing about the Western cluster, which is a big issue for most Liberians. They believe that the concession or most concessions in Liberia are not in the interest of the commoners. What different methodology do you think you can take to the legislature that can make a revision of these agreements a priority for you, so that in fact there are institutions that are operating in your district? You will be representative of a district that's seen as the free zone, all right, where companies are operating. What do you want to do differently in terms of methodology to ensure that these concession companies are able to work in the interest of our people?
And thank you. You're right. Now, I would agree with thousands of people concerning concession, because some of them, they are not in the interest of the people. And I will tell you, this is our country, this is our community, this is our district. So we have to benefit from it. In as much as we want to make sure this agreement be sound, we want investors in our country to kind of help with the economy. But in so doing, the Liberian, the vast majority, have to benefit from it. So in my mind, some of the things we will do that, not only we will go to the House and just pass this concession agreement, but also will come within that company is in whatever district, will come within and talk with the people, and especially leadership. I will advocate for us to inject certain portions of our law that the people's voice will be in connection with those that sound, and not only will just take the vast majority of the concession of the lawmaker that make that law, but the leadership within that community, especially the people within that district, for whatever these companies and the business they are, they have to have a voice in it. And we can play that very simple. We can give them that responsibility to make that decision as well.
There's voter stalking that we've heard all across the country, and in some instances we've seen. And aspirants like you who are just coming into the fray are seen as those who are engineering this whole voter stalking thing. What's your opinion on that, and how do you think this underpins our country's democracy?
Yeah, I think to me that's wrong, and I want to condemn it to the fullest. But however, for me personally, I've not been seeing it. I'm not going to speak on. I've been hearing it. I think it's wrong because it does not.
Are you doing same?
No, I'm not. And
are you not trucking registrants?
I'm not, and I will not, because I feel like I would tell you, I believe in principle, I believe in tangible. Because guess what? Even if folks are doing it, I think they're just doing it, to just spend whatever. Because in the day, folks, to me, if you do it in my district, guess what? Your own people you bring over with Honorable Fala.
Oh,
they will.
Why do you say so?
I say so is very simple, right? And I will tell you, Liberian nowadays believe. I mean, for too long we have been through a lot of things. I understand, folks frustrated with bad leadership and all these things is going around. But I think Honorable Thomas Ojukwu Fala is that new face, that new breed. People want to see. And my connection with everybody is very simple with the youth, the elderly folks that can fit in everywhere. I'm this person where you call anytime, this lawmaker who want to be there for you.
You are accessible now because
you want to.
It's not because I tell you the foundation has been there the next 6-7 years. So I was born that district. But yeah, that trucking thing I think is not right. And I would want to appeal with the NEC, the National Election Commission, to do everything. And the perpetrator or whosoever that is, but it's a law. Much go against it, but yeah, in my mind that's not right, and I condemn it. I would not do it, and our team will not engage in that.
Okay, and now let's talk about the census. Legis have released a preliminary report on the census. We, as a country, the population is around 5 million people, and there's this talk about demarcation. And you come from District 12. It's populated. District 12 is populated, and which means there could be a possibility of demarcation if Maserado were to be demarcated. Does it go against what you've worked for over the years now, or does it play in your favor? What is your opinion about that? In fact,
I think like you said, right now the population we are kind of low, over 5 million, and we understand just a system that is going on right now. It's not an actual result, but either way, I mean, if legis decide, National Election Commission decides to do that, I mean, we can do it. But I think for me, anything within Division number 12 right now, it does not play any negative aspect of me, because
you work all over.
We are going beyond. Imagine a sitting aspirants, initiating folks within Division number 6, have an engagement over there. I have folks within Division number 13. So my foundation is everywhere in Maserado. So, and Liberia as a whole. So anything over there, as long as the will of the people and we benefit our people, I mean, I'm up for it. But we want to follow it. Let's make sure it happens in a way that the people will agree to that, and it will be very transparent.
Who is your stiffest competitor in District 12, as of those names you've heard yet?
It's I don't hear no news, but I think the resident of Division number 12 is my concern right now, and I believe they are.
Aren't you afraid that there's somebody who's way ahead of you in terms of working for the people, and you are just coming in late?
How we are, and when you do a survey right now, you pass everywhere in the district. The name Thomas Ojukwu Fala is a household name, and I'm waiting, to do it. But even the current lawmaker right now, he said he has heard by my name. He's the friend. So imagine that. So
he said that to you?
I mean, it's been all in the digital already. Most of the supporters have been coming in our camp, and we're hearing it.
Okay.
So we're not afraid.
Okay. Yeah. You must have a strong grip of District 12.
We definitely do have. Yes, we are. We're playing the decision.
Go to the telephone lines.
Okay, let's go to the phone lines and talk to your people. Sorry that the rain made he came late.
Yeah.
So again, he apologized for that. But let's go to the phone lines and 0555-105-100, 0777-105-100. Thomas Ojukwu Fala is our guest on the last segment of the Morning Breeze on ABC Radio 105.1. He wants to represent the people of District number 12. By the way, the representative of District 12 has eloped to Lofa County. I'm told he's contesting. Summer is contesting. He reminds me of the guy from District number 17. Once the boy got elected, the men fly away to Cape Mount. I mean, that's how unfortunate. So, Ojukwu Fala may have a clean slate if there is no stiff competitor there, because he does not have an incumbent to compete with. 0555-105-100, 0777-105-100 are the numbers to call. Let's go to the comments here on our Facebook feed. This one says, but let's take that call first, Dennise, before we go to the feed. Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Fidel. How you doing this morning?
We're doing great.
My name is Destiny Sakila, and I call from the district number 12. I'm a prominent resident of this district. I've lived here more over 30 years. And I want to say a very big thank you for hosting one of district number 12 prominent sons in person of Honorable Thomas Ojukwu-Fala. Honorable Thomas Ojukwu-Fala is the man that we need in this district. Trust me, I'm not saying it to kind of like promote him.
They say we needed summer.
Yeah, listen now, listen.
I listen to you.
Honorable Fala has done so many things in the past years, not just this year. You understand? Honorable Fala has done so many things in various communities around the district, even in District Number 6. Honorable Fala has done things.
Okay.
Now, what am I trying to say? I want to conscientize all the residents of District Number 12 that we should be wise this time around. We should not look at somebody that would come with a quick impact project or would come to waste money all on the people, and then they forget about the real deal. We are looking for somebody who has a future for this district, somebody that can carry us for the next 6 to 12 years, that our district will be liberated from this dangling stage to an upper stage.
Okay.
And we have seen that based on the working of Honorable. I think Honorable Fala is the kind of man that the people of District Number 12 need.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
0777-105-100. I canceled this guy. Sorry. Okay. Good morning. Good morning. Lost the caller. Yeah, I mean.
0777-105-100. 0555-105-100. Let's hear you on the Morning Breeze. Our guest is here, and what do you make of his interaction on the radio? Let's hear you as you put through your calls, and we get few of the comments as well.
Papi Keita says, good morning, ABC Radio. Papi Success Keita from Dupont Row. And this one says, Destiny Sakila says, I'm watching from district number 12. Okay, he's just called Evangelist Detour. And Fala says, I'm watching now, CEO. Let's take that person. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Tube P. Yonko, and I call from district number 12, Saydee Chizo Factory.
Okay.
I want to congratulate your studio guest in person of Ojukwu Fala in the studio. A few of the questions have been answered where you asking whether you explain your it's one inspiring that we appreciate so much by the fact that your forces are going to the US and while in the US did not forget about us, the district, besides the chili factory, and you have some now asking us to see how they will have been elected as a representative for the number 12. It is welcoming, and I want to appreciate it. Let you go about it work as the decision will be made soon.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you. We have to close up now. Dennise, time is not our friend. Mr. Fala, again, we'd like to say thanks for coming despite the rain. I hope we can find another time
to have
an expensive discussion on his activities in District 12 because it seems there's a connect between he and his people from what I've heard. Again, we can be sure, politician and a very smart and but whichever way, we hope we can have you here to talk more about your activities there. How do you like to close on this morning?
Oh, thank you very much, Fidel, your co-host Dennise. Thank you, the entire ABC Radio. I want to say thank you to you guys for having me. I just want to say thank you to all our supporters and the entire resident within District Number 12 for following on this program. We appreciate it. We are here for you. I just want to leave you with this to encourage you in this process. Please, go out and register to vote. It's very important. Remember, April now is just around the corner. Don't say you got a couple of days. It's better to do it now than later. So I want to encourage you. Please go out there. Our team, we are in the entire community helping people wherever we can. Despite you being our supporters, but we just want to make sure you are Liberian, and that's your right. So please go out and register to vote. And I want to say thank you to the callers and everybody, to my entire team. And I just want to be to say on the station, we are more than waiting to come back anytime. Well, we appreciate the interview and we look forward to this. May God bless our country and may God bless the resident of District Number 12 of Moserado County. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. We have to go home this morning on the program. Again, we'd like to say thanks to you for tuning in, even though we had some technical difficulty, but we hope that can be resolved before tomorrow. All right, and we'll be back bright and early tomorrow morning. And we hope to have a big.
We're not taking course.
Yeah,
We're not taking
we
course.
hope to. We hope to have official on tomorrow. We will obviously put the flyer up tomorrow and let you know. So until then, do have yourselves a wonderful day and be blessed. Bye bye.
Okay.
Bokonjira Group of
I like it.
Bokonjira Group of Companies, a 100% Liberian-owned company with over 20 years of experience, is the name that stands tall in the microfinance, construction, and general services industries. At Bokonjira Group of Companies, we pride on character, integrity, honesty, confidentiality, and creditworthiness. Approved institutions or entities under the microfinance service include House of Representatives, Liberian Senate, General Services Agency, Financial Intelligence Unit, and General Auditing Commission. Others include Governance Commission, Cooperative Development Agency, Ministry of Gender, Liberia Anti-Corruption Commission, National Public Health Institute of Liberia, National Port Authority, Group of 77, and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Our construction services include the construction of residential and commercial buildings, while the general services include apartment renter, apartment for lease, furnished apartments for short stay, general printing services, and a yard with swimming pool to host events. Bokonjira Group of Companies is located on Capitol Hill in Monrovia. For more information, call us on cell numbers 0770-520-958 or 0777